Hello Chillify, I'm ready. My roommate, Jing, to help her high school dropout brother, Cheng, escape singlehood, came up with an idea targeting one of our dorm mates, the very beautiful girl in white pajamas she just mentioned. Sis, tell her to be my wife, okay? I looked down at the new white lace nightgown I was wearing. I almost burst out laughing in anger, but before I could react, I heard my roommate's decisive agreement. All right, don't worry. In half a month, I'll definitely make her your wife. I went out to the laundry corridor, but just as I stepped out of the dorm, I realized I'd forgotten my phone. Turning back to retrieve it from behind the slightly ajar door, I heard a disgusting male voice. Sis, that girl in the white pajamas earlier? She's really pretty. Tell her to be my wife, okay? I remembered that voice perfectly. It belonged to my roommate's younger brother. Countless times, near dorm lights out, my roommate couldn't be bothered to buy headphones, always blaring her video calls with this brother. I recalled the moment I stepped out of the room. My roommate, Jing, held her phone, furtively glancing at my every move, her eyes uncontrollably dropping, just in time to see me in my white lace nightgown. The repulsive voice continued. She's really beautiful, and her figure would suit me perfectly, sis. Tell her to be my wife, her family is well off. If I marry her, I won't have to work again. On the other end, I heard a gleeful laugh, as if utterly delighted with this choice. Hearing these comments, I almost burst out laughing in pure fury. I already knew Jing was helping her brother find a girlfriend. The moment her brother expressed a desire for a relationship, Jing immediately acted as if she'd received a divine decree, busying herself with all sorts of arrangements. But Jing was introverted and had few friends at school. Not long ago, she even showed me a photo of her brother, asking for my opinion. Shen Yuan, you know a lot of people at school. Can you help me see if anyone is suitable for my brother? Of course, not just anyone can enter our Su family. To be my sister-in-law, she must be beautiful, have a good personality, and come from a decent background. Looking at the indescribable face in the photo, I wanted to curse obscenities, but to maintain peace in the dorm, I vaguely replied, no one is suitable. Jing pouted, but after glancing around, she cheerfully agreed, my brother is the best person in the world, no one is truly worthy. After that, Jing didn't bring it up again, and I thought she had given up. I never imagined she would target someone within our dorm. Reflecting on the past few days, Jing had often walked around the dorm, filming erratically with her phone. It turned out she was auditioning concubines for her brother, and I was the unlucky one she had set her sights on. My anger could no longer be contained. I'm not a patient person. I was about to put down the laundry in my hands and storm in to confront her when I heard Jing's voice, deep and cold as a venomous snake. All right, as long as you like her, don't worry. In half a month, I will definitely make Shen Yuan your wife. My hand was already on the door, but the sudden release of tension made me falter. After Jing finished her call with her brother, she tidied up her belongings and left. I met her in the hallway. It was rare for Jing to greet me first, but her eyes were full of calculation and scheme. I was better at concealing my emotions than Jing. I smiled back, my face devoid of any anger. Instead of confronting her, I wanted to watch the Su sisters dig their own graves. Those ugly toads who dared to covet a swan deserved to be kicked out of this pond. That evening, Jing video called her brother again, but this time she pointed the phone directly at me. Shen Yuan, say hello to my brother. Sis, I'm Cheng. On the screen appeared a young man in a dirty white shirt, his body stocky, a servile and eager smile plastered on his face. Hello, I'm Shen Yuan, your sister's roommate. She and I talk about you a lot. This time, say hello to the other girls in the room too. I smiled amiably, but then I snatched the phone directly from Jing's hand, ensuring my other roommates could get a good look at the face of this brother, whom his sister praised endlessly. My two roommates, Vivian and Jenny, were discussing a popular male idol's performance when a face full of pockmarks and a cunning smile suddenly filled their screen. They immediately recoiled, revealing undisguised expressions of disgust. Vivian and Jenny's grimaces of contempt were fully visible to Jing. She snatched the phone back, ended the call, and immediately shrieked, "What's wrong with you? I let my brother say hello to you out of respect. Don't you dare look in a mirror and see what kind of people you are before you dismiss my brother." Initially, Vivian and Jenny felt a little guilty about their reaction, but after hearing Jing, they too became enraged. Even if we looked in a mirror 100 times, we couldn't match even 1/10,000th of your brother's ugliness. Vivian, being more hot-tempered, was the first to speak. Your brother looks like that, and you still dare to introduce him to someone. If I were to introduce him, I'd be creating bad karma. Jing, doting on her brother to an insane degree, couldn't tolerate anyone speaking ill of him. She immediately lunged to fight, but with her small stature, how could she be a match for 1.75 tall Vivian, not to mention with Jenny's help? In no time, Jing was pinned to the floor by Vivian, unable to move, yet her mouth incessantly spewed out harsh, grating insults. You're all just materialistic snobs. Just because my family isn't as rich as Shen Yuan's, you look down on my brother and me. Indeed, Jing's brother, Cheng, was not only ugly and short but also poor. Jing often spoke about her brother so much that we had some understanding of her family background. Their father passed away early, and their mother raised the two siblings alone. All family resources were poured into her precious younger brother. Everyone said that education was the best path, so Jing's mother always hoped to train her son to be successful, to rely on him later. But this son absolutely hated studying, even threatening suicide to drop out of high school. Ultimately, the opportunity for university education shifted to Jing because, according to her mother, a daughter studying a little more was just to help her brother and the family later. This utilitarian mindset of her mother was deeply ingrained in Jing's mind. She always believed that her attending university was entirely due to her brother's sacrifice. Every time she mentioned it, Jing would tear up. My brother is the hope of our entire family. If he hadn't given up his chance at an education for me, he wouldn't have dropped out of high school and struggled to find a good job. My mother is right. I must work hard to give my brother a better life. Jing grew up in such an environment. The ideology of sacrificing for her brother was deeply rooted in her mind. She only remembered that her university education was a blessing from her brother, completely forgetting her own relentless efforts during 3 years of high school. I used to sympathize with Jing's situation. That's why when I discovered her stealing my vitamins and secretly using my skincare products, I didn't expose her. Instead, I even prepared extra portions separately so that anything she saw, she could freely take. But she was wrong, completely wrong, to push another girl into the abyss to satisfy her brother's greed. Jing's insults grew increasingly vulgar, but the consequence was 2 more blows from Vivian. Seeing Jing's bloodshot eyes brimming with malice, I stepped in to mediate. I pulled the 2 struggling figures apart, standing between them, and advised, Vivian, Jenny, they aren't like that. They didn't mean it. And you, Jing, you only said those things to protect your brother. We're roommates. Any misunderstanding can be cleared up by talking it out. Standing behind me, Vivian, hearing this, merely shot Jing a glance. He never liked Jing's personality but never actively sought trouble. This time, Jing had simply provoked him too much. As for Jing, she looked at me, then stealthily at Vivian. She didn't believe I was truly on her side. The hatred in her eyes had not dissipated. But to avoid further blows, she merely snorted coldly and turned back to her bed. For a few days, the dorm was unusually quiet. Previously, Jing would often go to the library after class, but now she stayed in the dorm to study. Yet, every time I made a move, Jing would stop everything and observe me with a quick glance. Several times, I turned around to find Jing silently trailing behind me. Even when I went into the bathroom, she would always rush to try the doorknob. But because I habitually locked the door, she couldn't get in. Frustrated, she would only stand outside, banging on the door and yelling, Shen Yuan, why did you lock the door? I left something inside. I never opened it, so she could only stand outside, cursing. This happened repeatedly, making me suspicious. Jing definitely had some ulterior motive. That day, I prepared to take a shower. For several minutes, as I busied myself, Jing remained on her bed, eyes closed, feigning sleep, completely still. Carrying my suspicions, I entered the bathroom. Before undressing, I cautiously scanned the room. This time, with just one look, I discovered the shower caddy was crammed full of bottles like shower gel and shampoo. All had been meticulously cleaned. Normally, such items were locked in personal cabinets because Jing was always afraid we would use them. But this time, they were displayed openly, truly abnormal. I reached out to move the bottles aside and found a hidden phone behind them. The phone's camera, meticulously positioned through a pre-prepared gap, was secretly recording everything inside. Ah! A piercing scream from the bathroom jolted Jing awake. She quickly sprang from her bed, a look of triumph clearly visible on her face, and rushed straight to the bathroom. Jing reached for the doorknob, and the bathroom door actually opened. The scene inside made the person there scream again. Jenny, hastily dressed, her eyes red from crying, stood there weeping. Seeing Jing barge in, she threw the white phone in her hand straight at Jing's face. You placed a spy camera in the bathroom. What exactly did you intend to do? Jenny was usually a gentle and calm person, but no matter how mild her character, upon discovering she had been secretly recorded, she couldn't restrain herself and became rigid. When Jing realized it was Jenny in the bathroom, the sinister smile on her face immediately froze. What? What happened? While Jing stammered, unsure how to speak, I quietly appeared behind her like a ghost. My sudden voice made Jing jump. You, what are you doing here? I held a bag of food I'd just bought from the canteen, feigning innocence as I looked at her. I just went to buy food. What exactly have you all done? Jing looked at me, then back at Jenny, unsure how to explain. Logically, I should have been the one in the bathroom, but I had an appointment and left, and Jenny went in instead. Before leaving, I had deliberately cleared away the things hiding the phone, hoping that whoever entered next would easily discover Jing's wicked deed. And just as expected, the white phone placed on the dark shelf was too obvious. But Jenny was completely unsuspecting until she discovered it when she was almost done with her shower. You put a spy camera in the bathroom. If I hadn't found it, what were you planning to do with that video? Jenny cried and cursed simultaneously. Just because we argued a few days ago, you have to do this to get revenge on us, so have you deleted the video? Jenny wiped away her tears and nodded. Yes, I deleted it. Check if there's a backup. Jenny, in her panic, was only concerned with deleting the video containing her image, completely oblivious to the possibility of it being backed up. Give me the phone. Realizing the issue, Jenny tried to snatch Jing's phone, but Jing refused to cooperate. This only made Jenny more suspicious and agitated. The two struggled, but being evenly matched physically, Jenny couldn't retrieve it. Taking advantage of their struggle, I quickly snatched the phone from Jing's hand. Shen Yuan, by what right do you take my phone? Give it back. Jing shrieked, about to lunge for it, but Jenny blocked her. Seizing this moment, I swiftly unlocked the phone and logged into Jing's cloud account. Sure enough, there were automatically backed up videos. I quickly deleted all traces of the videos, then threw the phone back to Jing. Just as she was about to erupt in anger, I spoke coldly. Jing, how could you do such a thing? Even if you and Jenny have conflicts, you shouldn't use this method to seek revenge. If these videos were exposed, what do you think would happen to Jenny? Were you planning to use them to threaten her? I deliberately emphasized the consequences of not thoroughly checking, making Jenny cry hysterically in fear. Hick, thank you, Shen Yuan. If it weren't for you, I'd be ruined. I just wanted to record a video to scare you all a bit. I didn't intend to do anything serious. Jing looked at me, her eyes increasingly filled with resentment, but she ultimately had to grit her teeth and admit. Who knows if you really didn't intend to do anything? You didn't just secretly film, you automatically backed it up. You're truly insane. We were unlucky to encounter you. Jenny glared angrily at Jing, then turned away to call her boyfriend, crying and recounting the entire ordeal. To make the act more convincing, I deliberately looked at Jing with a hint of regret and said softly, Jing, I know you're a bit introverted, but I didn't think you were a bad person. Don't do such things again. Getting along with your roommates is never a bad thing. Think about it yourself. Not wanting to say more, I returned to my bed, ignoring the clattering noises Jing made in her anger. This matter was certainly far from over. I knew Jenny would definitely tell her boyfriend, Ethan, everything that had just happened. Ethan was a senior, 1 year ahead of us, and also Jenny's childhood sweetheart and boyfriend. Their relationship was very strong. They were inseparable all day. Normally, Ethan was very mild-tempered, but if he knew Jenny was being bullied, he would explode like a firecracker. Sure enough, after learning what happened, this 1.8-meter tall young man blocked Jing downstairs at the dorm as she was about to go eat. Not only did she miss her meal, but Jing was also thoroughly reprimanded by Ethan. When Jing returned, her stomach growling and her face pale, a large red mark was clearly visible on her arm. I predicted that her coming days would be very difficult. After all, Ethan's best friend was the president of our school's student council. That evening, Vivian also heard about the incident. Being close to Jenny, he thoroughly scolded Jing. But no matter how much Vivian yelled, Jing remained silently on her bed, not uttering a single word. After lights out, Vivian created a group chat with just me, him, and Jenny. See, I scolded her for ages and she didn't say a peep. She's definitely plotting something, Vivian began. What if she thinks of a way to retaliate? If this happens again, what will we do? Jenny added anxiously. Her worries were not unfounded. Vivian agreed, this is the first time I've met someone as terrible as Jing. Let's both go see the academic advisor and ask to have Jing moved out. Constantly being on guard like this isn't a solution. I think that's a good idea. Shen Yuan, what do you think? Jenny turned to ask me, clearly having placed a lot of trust in me after what just happened. I don't think it's a good idea, I replied. The videos on Jing's phone have been completely deleted. If we go to the advisor without evidence, she'll definitely deny everything. She might even turn the tables on us, making things more complicated. Moreover, even if we did manage to get Jing moved out, she would still continue to look for other targets for her brother and harm more people. The important thing is to pluck out the roots. So what should we do? Are we helpless against her? Jenny asked, her voice despairing. These next few days, try to limit your time in the dorm during the day. Also, avoid direct confrontation with Jing. I will figure out a way to collect evidence to expose her. After that, the dorm settled into an eerie silence. Vivian and Jenny, harboring obvious disdain, wouldn't even speak to Jing. Jing, seemingly reassured that we wouldn't dare do anything, became more relaxed than before. But she didn't know that every night after lights out, I reviewed the day's recorded video, cut the valuable segments, and sent them to our group chat with Vivian and Jenny. We couldn't install a camera in the dorm, so I used a spare phone, cleared its memory, and placed it in the curtain gap by Jing's bed, directly filming her bed. Every day, the phone was charged and recorded for 12 hours. That evening, I cut the day's video down to 4 minutes and sent it to the group. In the video, Jing expertly spat into our cosmetic bottles, used clothes from our closet to wipe her feet, then returned to her bed and pretended to study. Oh my God, I'm so furious I could die. Jing is truly a psychopath, Vivian roared in the chat. Good thing my face has been breaking out lately, so I haven't been using my cosmetics. And my new dress, I was planning to wear it on a date, but now what? Jenny sniffled. Don't worry, I reassured them. Days like these won't last long. Once we gather a few more pieces of evidence, we'll kick Jing out of the dorm. My words had an effect. Both hoped to soon obtain more conclusive evidence to get rid of Jing. After the group chat went quiet, I returned to watch the video, scrubbing the timeline to around 1:00 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. I saw Jing video calling her brother Cheng. In the video, Cheng's voice was even angrier than yesterday. As soon as they connected, he immediately berated Jing. Didn't you say it would be done in half a month? It's been over 10 days now, and I haven't seen a single person. And where's the video you promised to send me to satisfy my cravings? You're so useless. Look at second brother next door. His older brother found him a wife and even arranged a full dowry, house, and car. All I asked you to do was find me a partner, and you can't even manage that. Calling you sis is a complete waste. Jing, who always acted so self-important, now didn't dare utter a single word of rebuttal. Facing the phone screen, Jing continuously apologized. It's my fault I made you suffer. What happened before was unexpected. Now they're all wary of me. I can't film anything. Just wait a little longer, please. I've ordered something good online. This week, I'll definitely deliver someone to you. After ending the call, Jing, who rarely shopped online, opened a shopping app. This was the third consecutive day she had done this, and each time it was only to check the same shipping information. By my reckoning, the item Jing ordered should be arriving soon. But before she could receive her package, another conflict erupted in the dorm. Jenny returned to the dorm in tears. Perhaps she didn't expect me to be there, as her crying faltered for a moment. Jenny, why are you crying? What's wrong? Hearing my question, Jenny burst into louder sobs. Only after wiping away her tears did she recount the whole story. Today was her boyfriend Ethan's birthday. She had prepared meticulously, dressed beautifully to go out with him. But before they even left the school gate, they noticed unusual stares from the surrounding students. At first, Jenny thought her makeup looked particularly good today, drawing attention, but those looks weren't admiring, they were scrutinizing. Only when she received a message from another classmate did she learn the reason. On the school's online notice board, an anonymous person had posted an article accompanied by a 20-page PowerPoint presentation, accusing a green tea bitch, a manipulative woman, in the school of seducing others and scamming them out of money, alleging that this girl had a boyfriend but was still involved with someone else. Initially, it was just gossip, nameless and without specific targets, so viewers chuckled and moved on. But the poster attached a long-distance photo of a girl standing on a podium. It was Jenny. The photo had been taken when she participated in a recent school debate competition and was posted on the school's official account, so many people immediately recognized her. Although the post didn't directly state that Jenny was the main character, attaching the photo made everyone automatically assume she was the green tea bitch in the story. Jenny immediately clarified in the comments section, swearing she had never done such a thing, but her few lines of explanation couldn't change people's negative impressions. Many began to curse, insult, and some even made lewd remarks. Accustomed to a life of love and protection, Jenny completely collapsed. She ignored her boyfriend's comforts and had no desire to go out, only wanting to return to her room and cry her heart out. But crying solved nothing. I stayed to comfort her, helped her call the police, and simultaneously contacted the school administration for assistance in tracking down the poster's information. Afterward, I also obtained Ethan's contact information. Upon learning we had called the police, the school official was very cooperative, providing information about the poster's account. However, when we looked for it, the account had already been deleted. That evening, Jing and Vivian returned to the dorm one after another. After hearing the story, Vivian immediately comforted Jenny very thoughtfully, while Jing sat on her bed, a look on her face as if she were watching an entertaining play. Those people don't know anything, yet they dare to spout nonsense. Jenny, don't be sad. I'll ask my friends to go scold those people for you, Vivian said, but before he could act, a new post appeared on the school's online wall. This time, a 40-page PowerPoint was uploaded, posted by Ethan. The content had no elaborate design. It was just a collection of screenshots from forums and social media like T3Weibo. The photos and accusatory content were identical to the story in the previous anonymous post, but the original posts dated back many years. It turned out the accuser had gathered old content to create a new story, deliberately manipulating public opinion and slandering Jenny's reputation. In his post, Ethan not only clarified the falsity of the story, but also wrote a very long section about Jenny's gentleness and kindness. He emphasized their childhood sweetheart relationship, affirmed their strong affection, and condemned those who spread false rumors. The post attracted a huge number of views. The comment section was divided. Some felt cheated by the fake rumors and were angry for wasting their time. Some still held the view that there's no smoke without fire, believing Jenny couldn't be entirely innocent, while others praised the beautiful relationship of the couple. But very few truly cared about the hurt Jenny had suffered. Afterward, the police called to inform us that they found no leads. The anonymous account was completely new, with no useful personal information linked to it. The police merely said they would call back if there were any new developments. After all, even if the culprit was found, the punishment would only be 5 to 10 days of detention and a few hundred-yuan fine. On the surface, everything seemed to be over. But as soon as the dorm lights went out, our 3-person group, Jenny, Vivian, and I, became animated. I messaged. When I came back to the dorm, I saw Jing ahead of me. I personally saw her reading that fabricated post. She even laughed aloud at some of the comments. "See, I told you, this time it's definitely Jing," Vivian replied. Jenny is generally well-liked at school. Hardly anyone dislikes her, except Jing. "I think so too," Jenny agreed, her voice filled with anger. "This whole thing made me furious. Not only did it waste Ethan's birthday, but I was also wrongly slandered, and the person behind this terrible act hasn't been caught. Shen Yuan, thank you. If you hadn't told Ethan to look for the original posts, I definitely wouldn't have been able to clear my name." I simply messaged back, "No need to thank me. Ethan did most of the work." But Jenny still couldn't hide her indignation. Why does Jing keep targeting me? First, secretly filming, then spreading rumors. What did I do to provoke her? She added an emoji of anger mixed with grievance. This wasn't actually hard to understand. Jing was a self-important person. She had been confronted and scolded directly by Ethan downstairs at the dorm, causing the contemptuous stares from around her to pierce her fragile self-esteem like knives. But since she couldn't do anything to Ethan, her only recourse was to vent her anger on someone easier to bully, Jenny. "Don't worry," I comforted her. "We will catch Su Jing and leave her no room to deny it." The next day, for one of the rare times, Su Jing left the dorm. When Jenny curiously glanced at her departing figure, Su Jing glared back. "What are you looking at? I don't like you and you don't like me either," Su Jing snapped. Jenny didn't bother to retort. She packed her things and left the dorm even before Su Jing returned. When Su Jing came back and saw no one in the dorm, she breathed a sigh of relief. She pulled a packet of white powder from her bag and carefully locked it in her drawer. That evening, I cut the video recording of Su Jing's furtive actions and sent it to the group chat. "What is that white powder? Is she planning to poison us?" Jenny panicked. All three of us quickly agreed that we had to find a way to replace that packet of powder. The next afternoon, Su Jing, who always stayed glued to the dorm, unexpectedly received a message from her academic advisor. "Su Jing, please come to the department office. I need to discuss something with you." Su Jing frowned, recalling that Vivian had left the dorm half an hour ago, and gave a faint smile. Once I was sure Su Jing had left the dorm, I returned, with Jenny cautiously following behind, listening for any sounds outside. As I acted, I pulled a key from my pocket. It was a duplicate of the key Su Jing carried. I had seized the opportunity when she went to shower to take the original key, rush it to the security guard to make a copy, all within 2 minutes. The drawer clicked open. Inside was the packet of white powder we saw in the video. I poured all the powder into an empty jar I had prepared, then replaced it with vitamin powder of the same color, repackaging it exactly as it was. "What are you planning to do with this packet of powder?" Jenny asked. "I'll take it for testing. If there's an issue, this will be evidence to indict Su Jing." "Shen Yuan, you're truly brilliant." Jenny looked at me with admiration. Everything went smoothly. I left the dorm shortly after, while Jenny lay down on her bed, exhaling a sigh of relief. Before long, Su Jing and Vivian returned to the dorm one after another. Vivian recounted how he had asked the advisor to move Su Jing to another room and also mentioned her previous secret filming in the bathroom. But with Su Jing's clever dissimulation, the advisor refused the request to move her, reasoning, "You are roommates and will have to live together for another 2 years. If there are misunderstandings, resolve them quickly. I believe that once everything is clear, your relationships will improve. I'm busy, you two go back first. If there are problems, resolve them internally." Vivian was angry, but he hadn't expected much from this trip anyway. Upon returning to the dorm, Vivian exchanged glances with Jenny. She subtly gave him an "okay" sign, reassuring him somewhat. But the tranquility didn't last long. Amidst the silence, Su Jing's deep, chilling voice rang out, "Who touched my desk?" "The books on the desk are askew, and the corners are creased. Who did it?" Su Jing's question made Jenny and Vivian's legs go weak with fear, but luckily, both were sitting on chairs, outwardly revealing no flaws. "What if I touched your desk?" Jenny tried to muster all her courage to confront Su Jing's gaze, but the malice in Su Jing's eyes still choked her words. "Don't think I don't know what you're doing. Did you put something in my skincare products? My rosewater used to smell good, but now it stinks when I open it. You definitely did it. If you treated me like that, then I have the right to do the same to you." Su Jing glared at Jenny, her tone full of menace, making it impossible to tell if she was serious or just probing. She immediately checked the only cosmetic bottle on her desk. On the glass bottle, there were clear, fresh fingerprints, and a trace of saliva-like liquid was left on the rim. Su Jing frowned, but the suspicion on her face lessened. Jenny breathed a sigh of relief, trying to hide her trembling. Luckily, she had pretended to have retaliatory intentions. Otherwise, it would have been hard to escape this situation. Before Jenny and Vivian could fully recover from their shock, I returned to the dorm. Seeing me, Su Jing immediately changed her tone, no longer mentioning compensation for the cosmetics. She put on a deeply apologetic expression and spoke, "What happened before was my fault. I was momentarily angry and went too far. I'm truly sorry, everyone. This time, the advisor spoke to me, and I've thought things through. After all, we still have 2 more years living together. I don't want to leave this dorm. Can you give me a chance to make amends? This weekend, I'd like to invite everyone out to eat as a formal apology for what I've done." Vivian and Jenny were both stunned by Su Jing's performance. Although they knew she had no good intentions, under my encouraging gaze, they only uttered a few sarcastic remarks before agreeing. To make it more convincing, Jenny even added, "This time, you'd better apologize sincerely. Otherwise, we won't forgive you later." "What about you, Shen Yuan? Will you come?" Su Jing asked, her narrow eyes trying to hide her madness. "If everyone else is going, then I'll go too. But remember to apologize to Vivian and Jenny properly. After all, they're the ones you wronged," I said with a seemingly harmless smile. Su Jing looked at me as if she were looking at an idiot. By Saturday, for a rare occasion, all four of us from the dorm went out together. Su Jing led us to a restaurant near the school. Despite her eyes betraying a hint of regret over spending money, she still pretended to be generous, telling us to order freely. Without hesitation, we ordered over a dozen dishes. Su Jing gritted her teeth, suppressing her anger. It was well known that at school, she was always frugal, saving money to send back to her brother. But finding a girlfriend for her brother was clearly more important than this small sum. Su Jing forced herself to endure. "You guys wait for the food, okay? I'm going to ask if the restaurant has any discounts." Su Jing left the private room, circling to a secluded corner with no cameras. There, her brother, Su Cheng, just emerged from the kitchen. Su Cheng, uneducated, unattractive, and lazy, had only found a dishwashing job here a week ago. "Is Shen Yuan here?" Su Cheng asked, his ugly face contorting into a forced smile. Su Jing nodded. "I knew it. Sis, you love me the most. You're the best sister, finding me such a beautiful wife. Once I marry Shen Yuan, I'll definitely make her dutiful to you and Mom." Hearing her brother's sweet words, Su Jing beamed. She pulled the packet of white powder from her bag and carefully instructed, "Put this in the drinks, then bring them up. Remember not to mess it up." "Yes, yes." Su Cheng nodded repeatedly, rushing back to the kitchen. But in the private room, the white powder had already been entirely swapped. Now, it was in Su Jing's own cup of water. Su Jing was gone for quite a while. When she returned, most of the food had already been served. "The restaurant has a promotion, a free pitcher of plum juice. How great! With this heat, plum juice would be perfect." Vivian and Jenny cheerfully exclaimed. Su Jing also smiled, pouring plum juice for everyone. We only ate, no one touched the water. Having no other choice, Su Jing had to eat with us first, but every dish we ordered was spicy, completely unlike her usual bland taste. After just a few bites, Su Jing had to drink all the water in the glass on the table. Still not enough to quench the spice, she refilled her glass a few more times and drank all the water in the cup containing the swapped white powder. Su Jing had willingly consumed it all. I contentedly drank the plum juice from my own cup. Seeing me drink, Su Jing visibly relaxed and smiled, but before her lips could fully settle, her head spun. Not long after, she slumped onto the table, completely unconscious. Outside the private room, a commotion erupted. We knew Su Cheng, who was standing guard outside, had been dragged away. Taking advantage of that moment, we left only a dim light in the room and exited the restaurant. We waited outside, and not long after, Ethan, Jenny's boyfriend, came out. He clenched his fists. As soon as he saw us, he immediately recounted, "Not long after you went out, I let him in." While waiting, he drank quite a lot of alcohol. I took the opportunity to provoke a fight and gave him a few punches, but I still don't feel satisfied. Su Cheng drinking alcohol was clearly a trick Su Jing had set up to create an excuse later. However, that very cleverness worked to our advantage. I said nothing, silently dissecting Su Jing's thoughts. Vivian and Jenny hated Su Jing even more. Vivian angrily cursed, while Jenny, her eyes red, rushed into Ethan's arms to compose herself. When her emotions gradually stabilized, Jenny looked up at me and smiled. "Shen Yuan, thank you. If it weren't for you, I would have been horribly tricked by Su Jing. She's truly vicious, daring to play such tricks on me all for her brother." The next day, Su Jing returned to the dorm, looking distraught. Seeing this, I immediately found an excuse to leave the room. When only a few people were left in the room, a loud bang on the door echoed. It was Su Jing. She burst in, reckless, holding a knife, screaming, "Die, you despicable bitches." The knife was only a few steps from the face of the person standing near the door. The academic advisor who was present froze in fear, unable to move. Whack! From the corner of the room, I struck Su Jing hard on the back with a mop handle. Su Jing cried out in pain and dropped the knife, which Vivian immediately kicked away. While Su Jing was staggering, Vivian and Jenny rushed forward to subdue her. I quickly helped the academic advisor, who was now sitting on the floor in shock. "Su Jing, are you insane?" I loudly scolded. Then I turned to the advisor, my face full of concern. Sir, Jing had some issues with us, but I never expected that after your mediation session, she would choose such an extreme method. You kindly came here to help us and almost got hurt. Luckily, I noticed her strange behavior in the hallway and intervened in time. Today might be fortunate, but what if this happens again? Vivian and Jenny both protested. We really can't live with Jing like this anymore. Expel her. She must be expelled. The academic advisor, regaining his composure, shouted, "This kind of person cannot remain at school. Too dangerous." Achieving the desired outcome, the three of us couldn't help but crack a satisfied smile. Jing, though restrained, was still in a frenzy, trying to scream, "You filthy bitches!" But her mouth was covered by Vivian, while Jenny subtly pinched her back hard. Before campus security arrived, I leaned close to Jing's ear and whispered, "You always said your brother, Cheng, is the best man in the world, and marrying him is a blessing. So now, accept that blessing." Jing's eyes widened, the whites filled with red blood vessels. She struggled to get up but was held tightly down by Vivian and Jenny. "It's all over." I couldn't help but laugh, looking at Jing. My mouth made no sound, but I clearly conveyed, "I know all about your and your brother's plan." As if she understood, Jing's face became even more distorted and ferocious. She wanted to scream, but her mouth was stuffed with a cloth, leaving her to hold her words inside. Security quickly arrived and led Jing away, the knife serving as evidence. The academic advisor immediately reported the situation to the school administration and simultaneously called Jing's mother. Hearing that her child, whom she had struggled to raise and educate, was almost expelled, the mother rushed to the school. The small, thin woman in front of the school board scolded Jing and pulled her ear, forcing her to reveal the reason for her insane actions. Initially, Jing refused to speak, but her mother sensed something amiss and pressed her until she confessed everything. No one knew the mother's true feelings upon hearing the story, only that she tried every tactic, from recounting her early widowhood and raising children alone, to claiming 3 generations on her husband's side had mental illness. She deliberately prolonged her plea until the school agreed not to call the police, only requiring Jing to voluntarily withdraw. Although Jing had threatened with a knife, no one was injured, so the matter concluded there. The details of the incident were considered minor. If she were to face imprisonment, Jing would probably only serve a few years of detention before being released. Jing escaped imprisonment, but after completing the withdrawal procedures, her mother took her back to their hometown, a small town where she grew up. Cheng also returned with them. Jing's life seemed to have been completely severed from that point. Her future opportunities narrowed significantly. But if Jing had never harbored malice, never thought of harming others for her own benefit, perhaps she would have had a better future. However, Jing was born into such a family, a mother who always prioritized sons over daughters and a brother who only knew how to exploit his sister. She had no what-ifs. After all that had happened, Jing's future certainly couldn't have any what-ifs. Time flew by in the blink of an eye. In no time, Vivian, Jenny, and I reached graduation age. Vivian found a very good internship and decided to stay in the city to develop his career. Jenny passed the entrance exam for a master's program at a university where Ethan, her boyfriend who studied a year ahead, was waiting for her. The two planned never to be apart in the future. As for me, I decided to return to my coastal hometown to develop my career and start a new life. And the girl who once sacrificed herself for her family and brother, in the end, we never saw her again.